exploring the life and legacy of Empress Wu Zetian, the only female emperor in Chinese history. So, there's this crazy rumor about Empress Wu Zetian. Supposedly, she killed her own baby girl, just to get ahead of her competition, and rule China as the only female leader. How messed up is that? There is some debate among historians about whether Empress Wu Zetian wrote her own autobiography. Some scholars believe that she did, while others argue that the autobiography, known as the Golden Age of Empress Wu, was likely written by someone else, possibly a court official or historian. The autobiography is written in the third person and describes Empress Wu's life and achievements in great detail. It covers her early years as a concubine, her rise to power, and her reign as empress. The book also includes many anecdotes and stories about Empress Wu, some of which may have been exaggerated or embellished over time. Regardless of who actually wrote the autobiography, it remains an important source of information about Empress Wu's life and reign. It provides a vivid portrait of one of the most remarkable women in Chinese history, and sheds light on the political and cultural climate of the Tang dynasty. If she would have written her autobiography, it would be like this: Life of Empress Wu Zetian, Empress of China, written by her Emperor Taizong. I, Wu Zetian, was born in China during the Tang dynasty in 624 AD. My family was not wealthy, but I was fortunate enough to receive an education and was taught to read and write. As a young girl, I was determined to succeed and make a name for myself. In my early 20s, I entered the imperial palace as a concubine of Emperor Taizong. I quickly rose through the ranks and was promoted to the position of empress. However, after Taizong's death, I was forced to retire to a monastery due to political maneuvering by the new emperor Gaozong's empress. Despite this setback, I refused to give up on my ambitions. I continued to educate myself during my time in the monastery and built a network of supporters. When Gaozong fell, I saw an opportunity to return to the palace and take charge. I convinced him to make me his empress once again and became the de facto ruler of the empire. As empress, I implemented a number of reforms that strengthened the Tang dynasty and improved the lives of the people. I abolished the practice of forced labor and reduced taxes for the poor. I also promoted the arts and supported literature, painting, and music. Under my rule, the empire prospered and became a dominant power in Asia. However, my reign was not without controversy. I was accused of using witchcraft to control the emperor and was criticized for my harsh treatment of political opponents. Despite these challenges, I remained steadfast in my commitment to the empire and its people. I ruled the Tang dynasty for 15 years, until my death in 705 AD. Today, I am remembered as a trailblazer and a symbol of female empowerment. I proved that women were just as capable as men and could achieve great things if given the chance. My legacy lives on as a testament to the power of determination, intelligence, and strength. Chronological life events of Emperor Taizong intertwined with Empress Wu Zetian, Empress of China. Emperor Taizong and Empress Wu Zetian both played significant roles in the history of China during the Tang dynasty. Here are some of the important chronological events in their lives. 598 AD marked the birth of Emperor Taizong, the son of Emperor Jiezu and founder of the Tang dynasty. He is widely regarded as one of China's greatest emperors, credited with expanding the empire and unifying it culturally and politically. His reign ushered in a period of peace, prosperity, and cultural exchange that left a lasting impression on Chinese history. 624 AD, Empress Wu Zetian is born in Wenzhou County, Shanxi Province. A remarkable leader who would become one of the most powerful and influential monarchs in Chinese history. Born in Wenzhou County, Shanxi Province, Wu Zetian was a daring ruler who successfully expanded her empire and paved the way for future generations of female leaders. Her legacy lives on today as an inspiration for ambitious women everywhere. In 626 AD, Emperor Taizong ascended to the throne of China, becoming the second emperor of the illustrious Tang dynasty. After his father abdicated the throne and retired to a life of contemplation, Taizong's rule began with a period of stability and prosperity for the Chinese people. His successful reign was marked by a period of cultural flourishing and technological advancement that would shape the country for centuries to come. In 638 AD, Empress Wu Zetian made history by becoming the first and only woman to ever become a concubine of Emperor Taizong of the Tang dynasty. If you like the video so far, please like. This momentous event marked the beginning of a new era in Chinese history, as it was one of the first times that a woman had achieved such an elite status with an imperial court. Empress Wu's rise to power was extraordinary and came with monumental implications for women's rights in China, as well as for female empowerment across Asia. In the year 640 AD, Empress Wu of the Tang dynasty gave birth to a son, marking a new chapter in Chinese history. This momentous occasion marked the first time in nearly 200 years that a reigning empress had given birth to an heir. With this child, Empress Wu established her legacy as one of the most powerful women in Chinese history and opened up possibilities for her son to become emperor. 649 AD, Emperor Taizong dies and is succeeded by his son, Emperor Gaozong. Taizong had achieved great power, establishing a unified Chinese empire and expanding its borders. His son Gaozong quickly proved himself worthy to succeed him, ushering in an era of peace and prosperity that would last for the next 2 centuries. 655 AD, Empress Wu is accused of murdering one of her own children and is sent to a Buddhist monastery to live as a nun. As punishment, she was sent to a Buddhist monastery to live as a nun in exile. This marked the beginning of her journey from imperial palace to monastery walls, and it was certainly an unexpected turn of events for Wu. 660 AD, Empress Wu is released from the monastery and returns to the imperial court as a lady-in-waiting for Emperor Gaozong's wife, Empress Wan. She quickly rises in power and becomes Emperor Gaozong's favorite concubine. Empress Wu's return to the imperial court of 660 AD marked a remarkable moment in Chinese history. After spending several years in a monastery, she returned with a newfound strength and courage that had never been seen before. As she stepped foot in the court once again, her presence was felt throughout the entire empire. Her story has since become an inspiration for many, proving that with hard work and determination, anything is possible. 665 AD, Emperor Gaozong becomes seriously ill, and Empress Wu takes the opportunity to consolidate her power and eliminate her political enemies. A major shift in Chinese history occurred. She took advantage of the situation to eliminate her political rivals and strengthen her own rule. This marked an important period of consolidation of power for Empress Wu as she became one of the most powerful figures in Chinese history. 690 AD, Emperor Gaozong dies, and Empress Wu becomes the only woman in Chinese history to rule as an emperor. It marked a historic moment for China. She declares herself Empress Regnant and establishes the Zhou dynasty, with her reign known as the Zhou dynasty's Zetian period, as she became the only woman in Chinese history to rule as an emperor. Her declaration of the Zhou dynasty and her reign as Empress Regnant established a powerful legacy that still reverberates today. She was a leader who sought reform and progress, and her accomplishments are a testament to her ambition and courage. 705 AD, Empress Wu astounded her country by abdicating the throne in favor of her son, Emperor Hongzong. Even after stepping down from the throne, she still held immense power behind the scenes. Empress Wu took a huge risk by resigning the sovereignty in support of her son, Emperor Hongzong. Despite surrendering the title of Empress, she continued to reign as an influential figure in the court and held immense power behind the scenes. Her legacy is one that stands out among Chinese emperors for her refusal to bow down to convention and for her dedication to continuing the success of her dynasty. 710 AD, Emperor Hongzong dies, and Empress Wu's second son, Emperor Ruzong, becomes emperor. Empress Wu continues to wield power as his mother and advisor. However, Empress Wu is by no means done wielding her power. She continued to be a powerful presence in the court, acting as both mother and advisor to her son emperor. This marked the beginning of Empress Wu's reign as one of the most influential figures in Chinese history. 712 AD, Empress Wu dies at the age of 83, having ruled China for a total of 50 years. Her legacy is controversial, with some considering her a ruthless and power-hungry leader, while others view her as a visionary who helped to stabilize the Tang dynasty and promote women's rights. Emperor Taizong and Empress Wu Zetian had very different reigns and legacies, but they were both significant figures in Chinese history during the Tang dynasty. Emperor Taizong is remembered as a wise and capable ruler who expanded the Tang dynasty's territory and promoted cultural and economic growth. Empress Wu, on the other hand, was a controversial figure who rose to power through intrigue and manipulation, but also played a role in advancing the status of women in Chinese society. Here are some additional facts about Emperor Taizong and Empress Wu. Emperor Taizong was known for his military prowess and strategic thinking. He was involved in many successful campaigns, including the conquest of the Eastern Turks and the Kukrio Kingdom of Korea. Under Emperor Taizong's rule, the Tang dynasty experienced a period of great prosperity and cultural achievement. He was a patron of the arts and supported the development of poetry, calligraphy, and painting. Empress Wu was known for her intelligence and political acumen. She was a skilled administrator and implemented many reforms that helped to modernize the Tang dynasty's government and economy. Empress Wu was also a patron of the arts and commissioned many works of literature and music. She was particularly interested in Buddhism, and many of her cultural projects reflected this interest. Despite her many accomplishments, Empress Wu was also a controversial figure who faced opposition from members of the Tang dynasty's aristocracy. She was accused of using unscrupulous methods to gain and maintain power, including murder, bribery, and the manipulation of court politics. Some historians have also suggested that she was responsible for the downfall of the Tang dynasty, which began to decline after her reign. In later years, Empress Wu became increasingly paranoid and reclusive, and she was accused of having her political enemies executed or exiled. She also became increasingly involved in Buddhist mysticism and claimed to have had supernatural powers. Despite the controversy, Empress Wu remains a captivating and mysterious character in Chinese history. Her legacy continues to be debated by historians and scholars, and her story has been the subject of numerous books, films, and other works of art. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and you will make it possible for me continue bringing all this historical people and place.